Hi, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are again. It's Abby and I'm doing my third video blog for you, and I'm still keeping the theme of isolation, inspiration, and just trying to focus on a certain verse that's getting me through these troubled times at the moment. And I guess the last week or two, in all honesty, has been a little bit of a struggle for me. I think the loneliness and the anxiety of things is like creeping in a little bit more, and I think people are getting a little bit worn out with the isolation now, and things are starting to take its toll a little bit. So I think I've struggled in actually finding something that I can actually give to yourselves and do it myself. In all honesty, I've been struggling to do this. But the verse that keeps coming back to me over the last week or two has actually been one of my favourite Bible verses. It's so much my favourite that I've actually got it. I've got the lyrics or the Bible verse on my wall in my dining room downstairs. And if I can put an image up in this video, then I'll try and do that so you can have a look at it. But the verse that I'm going to be talking about is actually another Psalm one, and weirdly I haven't meant to keep the theme running through of Psalm through these isolation inspirations, but I think it is one of the passages that we tend to go back to in troubled times. But one of my favourite Bible verses, and the reason why it's one of my favourites is because it's one of my grandma's favourites, and we believe that God healed her from this blood disease that she had, and she nearly died from it. And in the moment where she was healed by God, she was spoken these words, and the words were, "Be still and know that I am God." But at the beginning of Psalm 46, which is the one I'm going to be reading from today, it starts off saying, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way, and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, through its waters roar and foam, and the mountains quake with their surging." And I find this verse quite a verse full of images in my head. It's very descriptive, isn't it? The mountains are falling into the heart of the sea, and through the waters are roaring and foaming, and the mountains are quaking and surging. And I see this all as disruptive type things, and I almost see myself in this a little bit at the moment. And it doesn't necessarily need to be anything physical. It can be the mental battle that I have going on in my head. And moving on to verse 10, where it says, "Be still and know that I am God." Like, what does to be still actually mean? And I was trying to break it down and look into the meaning of being still, and I noted down that the Hebrew translation of being still is to let down or to cease. And I think we often interpret that command as to be still as to be quiet in God's presence. And I think whilst quiet is certainly helpful, the phrase means to stop the frantic activity, to let down and be still. And actually in that moment is find God. So be still and find God in that moment. And then the bit where it says, "Know that I am God," know in this instant means to properly ascertain that it's God by seeing, by acknowledging in our stillness that we know that he is present, that he's powerful, that he's holy, he's sovereign, he's faithful, he's good, and he's the God of peace. So the be still bit, I think, encourages me, yes, to physically be still, but then to actually do something and acknowledge in that moment, acknowledge that God's in that moment of me being still, and stop the frantic activity. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I really struggle to be still. So, but even talking through this, I think it's all good and well, isn't it? It's all good and well saying that, but at what point in our day, at what point in our life can we actually be still in God's presence? But I think it's really important. And from somebody like me who likes to fill their day with activities, with social media, with talking to my friends, talking to my family, to be still, I struggle to do that. I think it can be quite lonely at times to be still. and be away from everybody. But actually in those moments of being still, I think we find rest and we can be renewed in God's presence. And God can offer us so much in just being still and tapping into him and knowing that he's there. Like I said, like in the moments of being still, sometimes I feel more anxious because my thoughts are coming in, you know, I've not got the distractions around me. But when I think of moments in my life where I have been still, like a tranquil moment of like a peaceful walk, and I can hear the birds, and I stop and I stand still in a peaceful environment, or on a beautiful beach when I've been on holiday, and the peace and the tranquility that that's brought me is quite overwhelming. So if I can get that from my God, which is everlasting, never ending, then why am I not doing that more? So I mean, one of the things I've recently done is started putting post-its around my room of some of the things like that God commands over me at the moment. And my cousin, who's a pastor of a church in Gloucester, she's written a song actually, and it's all about this Bible verse, be still. And I just wanted to read you some of the lyrics of the song. And again, if I can find a copy of the song and play it to you, then I will, because it's just such a beautiful song. And the words of the song go, "You remain the same, I will be still and know. You're willing, you're able, you're mighty to save. You're with me, for me, you never fail. You are so, so good to me." And so I've been just confirming those things daily over myself, and repeating those words that he's willing, he's able, he's mighty to save. And in the stillness, in those be still moments, I'm acknowledging those words that that God is saying. And yeah, if you've got a favorite worship song, then I'd love you to comment on this blog and let me know what your favorite worship song is. I mean, I've got loads, but this song that my cousin written, the words were just really poignant at the moment, knowing that God remains the same and I can be still and he will give me all those things. He's mighty to save, he's with me, he's for me, and he never fails. So yeah, that's my blog for this week. I hope that's been encouraging for you, and I hope that you know that we're all in this together. And being still at times is really difficult, and I know that, and I'm still practicing it now, and hopefully I'll better watch my own vlog back and take my own recommendations. But I hope you have a lovely week, and thank you for listening. Take care and God bless.
This is my confession in the crisis and the change. You remain the same. If the mountains crumble and the earth itself give way, you remain the same. Oh, I will be still and know. Oh, I will be still and know. You're willing, able, mighty to save. You're with me, for me, you never fail. You are so, so good to me. You are so, so good to me. This is my confession. I no longer have to fear, for you are all I need. So I choose surrender.